Hi, I'm Richard Grinter. In the garage again, painting. This time it's from a painting I did in London, a place called Gabrielles Wharf, and it's a view eastwards up the Thames with St Paul's over there, and then some of these new buildings over here, the Shard, Gherkin, I think there's one called the Toaster, and yeah, those kind of things. And then over here is a pier which people walk on to enjoy the view. It's actually the Oxo Tower, but I might not put that in. I'm going to decide later. The river's at low tide, so it's right out, so I was able to stand on the riverbed, which was pretty amazing. So this is going to be my plein aid memoir to guide me through doing the studio painting for a gallery. So what I've got blowing around in the wind here is my plein aid memoir here, painted in London, and then down here is my value tone sketch on brown cardboard with chalk and charcoal. So I've got 3 tones there, also known as a no tan sketch, but that is real size, same size as my canvas, and it's also, that's the composition worked out. So I've got cadmium or lemon yellow, whichever you like to use. One's warmer than the other. And I've got 2 reds, cadmium red and Elysian crimson or magenta, and then there's blue, ultramarine or cobalt or cerulean, and then white. I don't find a massive difference between the whites, but this one is one that was given to me, so I'm using it. It's zinc white. What I'm going to do is put the 2 foreground items, which are this boat here and this pier. I'm going to put them in first, just as solid items, solid shapes, and then I can work into them with the light colour later on. Easier to do it that way around than the other way around. Honestly, painting onto white is quite difficult. Into 3s. See, more like that one than that one, I think. Yeah. You might have heard of the rule of thirds. Some point an artist or scientist decided or worked out that a painting could be divided into thirds, and it would be the most pleasing on the eye. So I'm going to stick with that. Obviously everything can't be lined up with a third, and the main important thing is St Paul's Cathedral, which is lines up with the first third from the pier. So this is actually two boats, either side of a landing stage, and the landing stage has got I think there are drills at different heights on it. It might be called a drilling platform. One probably there. So I think oil paint is really best for using plein air outside. But nevertheless, I'm using it now for this big format painting. But some people might say it'd be better just to use acrylic for a large format. I don't know much about acrylic paint, and it's possible it would be a lot easier. However, I'm comfortable with oil paint, be using it for a long time, 20 years, and I want to carry on using it for now. But I might explore acrylic at some point. I'm just putting in the lightest value, represented by the chalk on my sketch. On my memoir. No, not a memoir, is it? It's a no-tan value tonal sketch. I think no-tan is a Japanese word. Everything else to do with painting is usually in French. I'm not going to have enough paint here. Going to need a lot of that. I guess it's 2/3 of the canvas, so yeah. The vast majority is light on this painting. So I need to really chuck on a load of white at this point, although more white. Coming out of several holes, because this tube is very old, could be 40 years old I think. I was lucky enough to be given some oil paints by a lovely lady. So I've mixed up hopefully enough light blue paint to spread across 32 inches by 24. It's sort of creamy, like a bit like mayonnaise, expensive mayonnaise, Waitrose mayonnaise. So this is the riverbed. This is kind of orangey colour, beigey orange. Shift that up there a bit. haven't quite got that beach right. It's beach colour here. So in my painting it's came right across at about a 30-degree angle, this beach. So I should stay true to the plein air version. Sort of peachy pink, really. The sun is was fairly midday-ish when I did this painting, this plein air painting. But wasn't a lot of sun, to be honest. I think it was March. So, the thing is, I can change this scale of this if I want and make it a bit bigger, a bit taller, because at this point I'm thinking of the whole canvas, the whole painting, as a composition and as a design. So it's simple shapes now that are working together in harmony. So basically, in my days as a designer, you sort of usually want everything slightly different. Big shape, small shape, square shape, smooth shape, with space around it. That's I think that's how I would describe a balanced design. But actually a good design is always hard to put into words. Sort of for the eye to decide. You know when it's a good design, and so does everyone else. So that bridge, of course, is going in front of the St. Paul's. a bit more yellow. So there's a building here. On the corner, which is actually white, but obviously not going to look white for now, I shouldn't think. And then we got this amazing building here, which has got an amazing roof. About the same height. It's got a sort of like a French, it looks quite French, got a French style roof, massive roof, and it's a pretty stunning building. I think that's the one that used to be a college. Not sure what's there, to be honest. I think it's like a church. So I think I'm going to go for the nice bright, or slightly bluish, bluey grey sky. And you can do it with colour, help to pop out that building's St Paul's Cathedral, so I could make the sky really blue. But I don't really like, I think it's better to do it with tone than colour. I think colour can be jarring and not really. I don't think I like it. I think we need something really bold, so I'm going to have another pier here, just off centre. I think that's what it needs. Positioning of it though is quite important against the one in the background. I mean, there are two piers there anyway, so just puts everything into tonal relationships, creates more interest because we've got so many different planes, so many different tonal variations as you move through the painting, the journey through the painting. Then there's a kind of platform there, which is like a drilling platform, and then there's another boat here. Oh yeah, I definitely need to do something with that drilling platform. Don't know what. Same sort of thing, I guess. That's gonna go there. Yeah, so just it's all just a bit too dark, really. These are drills, or bores. I think they call them bores. Going down into the river, into the riverbed. So that's too dark. I don't know what to put in there. Yeah. Purpley colour in there. Yeah. So, getting there now. Yeah, make that look more like a boat. So starting to, starting to do a bit of modelling, shaping now to make things look like things instead of just simple shapes. So that takes it from abstract really to some more of a figurative painting or impression. So there's a kind of huddle of them here, actually, of these things. So I might try and sort of, I think it's quite good to group shapes sometimes, and then and then have one on its own. Tends to work design-wise quite well. So what I think actually happens here is that these sort of go up into a peak here, and then they come down here. Well, that'd be interesting to know if that was if there was a plan for this skyline. Were they together meant to sort of mirror St Paul's, or was it pure in the building of London, especially the skyline? It's so precious, so important, so much responsibility on somebody's shoulders to make sure London skyline looks amazing, so that other cities in the world think, yep, we want to look like London, we want a skyline like that. This is how it turned out, the painting. I found took a lot of wrestling with this to get it right. I quite like it now. I think I needed to simplify it down, and that's evening light made it easier to do that. Strong shadow is on the beach, riverbed, and I wanted St Paul's to stand out, which I think it does now. I'm quite pleased with it. It's got the energy in it that I wanted it to have. I hope you enjoyed watching that and seeing how the process I go through to create an oil painting. I enjoyed doing it, and it was a bit more of a challenge than I expected. However, sometimes sometimes they just won't work out, and you end up taking it a long way away from the plein aid memoir into a whole nother direction. But I think that's okay. I think it's okay to just get rid of the rules when it comes to the final painting, and almost get rid of all reference and just trust your brain and your sense of your instincts, sense of design. Not easy sometimes, but it comes in the end. Came to me, I think. I hope it does to you. Thank you for watching. If you want to see some more of my videos and some extra videos, then please don't forget to subscribe. Otherwise, I hope to provide another video soon. All the best. Good luck with your painting. Thank you. Bye.